Can you hear me?
Yes, Bala.
Okay. Um, okay. Somewhere. Yeah, here. So we have a time zone local language, so it's like self-explanatory. So time zone means what are the place we are from, and this kind of the language that we're going to comfortable in this. And okay, coming here, the role. The role is an optional value, even though it is saying required here, but it's not a mandatory. You can pick or you can use a not specified one. So we're going to explain more detail about a role next to it. And user license we already discussed. So these are like kind of a limited access, like where you control in your organization. So Salesforce is a full license, and remaining all or like not that, like we have a very limited features to the other licenses. Okay, so so for creating a user, you should need a license, any one of the license. So sometimes what will happen, so you see all the licenses now. So when you create sometime, you will not see all the options. That means you don't have enough licenses with that option. So let's say if you seeing the Salesforce license means you have one Salesforce license to create a user with that license. So whatever you see, that means you have a license to it. Okay, and similar to profile. So based on the license you select, the supported profiles only it will show. Okay, what is a profile? Profile will again control the features in that license. So there will be a standard profiles given for each license. Let's say for Salesforce license, there will not only one, sometimes it would be more than one profile also they will give. Profile is a set of permissions that we can control what are available from the say license that we have chosen. So that means like by you can give like max features in that license, not more than what you will get in that license. Even but you can restrict, or it means you can reduce the features in a profile than what you get in the license. So all the thing was you will narrow down your features. When you're saying edition is controlled from Salesforce, licenses are controlled. Um, Licenses are controlled in your organization, and on top of the license you will have one more step in a profile where again you will restrict or narrow down your features. Okay, next we'll discuss about a profile and then roles. So now again, so I want to explain some of the features here user. So you have active one here, so you can activate the users. So if you check this box, then only whatever the email you provide here, then only they will get this kind of a notification saying verify your account. Even though you create, until unless the user verifies your, I mean, they verifies their account, then only they will get access to the org. If they don't verify, it will not. Even though if you create the user, it doesn't mean that they can access. So once you create with the active, and you have to give this generate new password notification to the user immediately. This is what the verify account email that will go out. If you uncheck this box, even though you create the user, what the particular user with the email ID will not be notified. If you check this box, then only the email will send out. So let's say if you have requirement to create 100 users in your organization, what you have to, and they will say, okay, release only by this time 10 a.m. Then we cannot create 100 users at a time, right? In same time, we cannot do that. So you have to configure all the user setup, and you have to remove this checkbox and save. And whenever you want to activate, go to the user and check this box and save. The user will get a notification. That's how you have to do. And these are like mailing address, or like these are some personal information only you going to have. And these are all different checkboxes you see: marketing user, offline user, knowledge flow, service cloud, site.com. These are all the different cloud features or like admin features that we are going to give access from a user object. Okay, and here also there will be a kind of we have that feature licenses, right? Some of the feature license will be covered here. Even though if you have a license, feature license, you will be giving that feature license by checking this boxes as a features. So when you are using the marketing user, so the one of the feature license will be used for this user. Not only this user license, on top of that, you are using this feature license also here. So there will be a some of the features like feature access that you're going to use by using these checkboxes. And we'll explain some of this later when we are covering like flows or marketing user and some of the features we are going to cover uh, when we are at that time, like when we have to give that access to the users, when then we'll come here and explain like what are available here. Okay, and most of them are like self-explanatory. When you know that, okay, what is the Salesforce CRM content, then you will know. Okay, you have to give us you access, then only you will have access to the contents. Some of them are like self-explanatory, and some of them we are going to explain when we have that concept covered in that uh, session. And next thing, approval settings. So this also will cover when we have like approval process. So where we can decide the manager. So when we have a multiple users in our somebody will report to some other users, right? Like there will be a managers and normal associates, reps will be there. And if you want to maintain your who your this user is going to report, then you have to create your managers first, and then you have to create later. Or like if it is vice versa, then you have to go back to the user and assign the manager to that user. So they are like delegated approvers. So this delegated approvers will cover when we have approval process. If some requests are coming in, and if you have approvers who need to be approve that request, that is going to this option. And if it is a manager or a delegated approver, you can choose a both option in that feature. We'll discuss more on that. So here, what I want to cover was when you want to give access to new people in your organization, you have to create a new user. When you create a new user, you should have a license and profile to give access to the user. Even though you create, you can stop the person notifying that user is having access by unchecking this box. Even though notification is sent, it has created by mistake and you don't want to be continue, then you have to go back to the user and uncheck this box, activate, active. Okay, why to deactivate? By mistake only it has created, I want to delete the user. You cannot do that in a Salesforce. You have only one way option. You can create an user, but you cannot delete an user. This could be a basic, very basic interview question that they can reject. Okay, so I don't want some of the users from Salesforce. How can I delete? If it's an interview question, if you answers, I have to go to the record, and if I click delete, it will delete. Then okay, there will be a no next question to you. So the thing was, you cannot delete the users in Salesforce. You can only do a deactivate or freeze. Okay, where we can see a freeze option. I think I will not have option. Why? Because I am only the user, so I will not get that option. What I'll do is I'll create one more user. Mm, what I can give.
So Bala, in the meantime, you're creating the users
Mhm.
based on the editions. There'll be restriction on the number of users as well. Uh,
Hmm. When it is a essential or a professional, like where we get a cheaper licenses. Yes.
okay.
So I'm using the same email. So we'll change. So one more thing. So even though when we're having multiple users in our, you can still use the same email. With the same email, you can have a multiple users also get created. Only thing was you have to have a unique username. Hmm. Okay. Is a nickname you can give like, okay, and I don't want to here, and I want to make, they're also administrators, marketing user I'm giving. That's all. I'm creating the user. Done. Okay. So here you can see a freeze option. So the freeze is an option to stop the user temporarily. What is the difference between freeze and activate is? Activate is also restrict the user from logging into the organization. Freeze also will do the same. But thing was, when you do a freeze, it will not release the license back. So we are using one license, right? So if you want to create one more user, so let's say this organization having like only two Salesforce licenses. One I'm using when I do a sign up. So I have one available Salesforce license. So I have created one more user. So if I do a freeze, I will not get this license back to create a one more user. So still it will be utilized for this user. When I will get release is only if I deactivate. When I uncheck this activate box, then only I will get back my license. Otherwise, I will not. Okay. That is like how to restrict a user from logging into a Salesforce is two ways, either freezing the user or deactivating the user. Why we have two ways? Freeze usually used for temporarily stop the user from logging in, and activate is to get the release, I mean, get the license back to create some other users in the org. Is that clear? First, I will verify my account and trust.
A quick question. You said that you gave a scenario when we are supposed to create 100 users. So we create them and then we can do a generate password link later, right? To avoid the conflict of creating multiple users at the same time. So
Hmm.
is there a way to send out those emails automatically once at a time, or do we
No.
have to configure that individually?
Okay. So what we can do was in this user creation only, the option to um, one second. Okay. Okay. Yeah, they are like we have option. So the option is to they are like bulk create user with the minimal information, add multiple users. So what's the difference between new user and add multiple users is when you have something common between the users and where you want to give only the required information for the users, then you can create this, I mean, use the screens. Like you can select the role or a license or profile common to the users at one time, and you can um, create the user. Why? Because we don't have much license, that's why like we cannot do it here. Let's say I have I think charter free, I have good amount of licenses. Okay, so you can see here add users. Mm, so I have option to create 10 users at a time. When I'm having a users with the same license, you can create a name, um, username, and create it. This is the one way you can create a multiple users with the minimal information is one way, and you can just uncheck this or tick this box. And the second option is you have like a tools to insert the data in bulk. So you can load the data like from CSV or CSV files and load the data into the Salesforce, and then um, you can send that notifications at that has to be like you have to go to each user and they have to do that. It's still there.
Mm.
But the thing was, instead of manually creating everything, you can use the tools, load data load tools to create users in bulk.
Mhm. Yeah, but still we have to generate the email individually.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or like we um
I see that there is an option to reset passwords,
hmm,
like for multiple user at a time. I mean, the same way we create multiple users,
hmm.
we can reset the passwords for the multiple users.
Yeah, we can do. So there is option to expire passwords or level. If something um this is one way, like you can select the users and just do a reset passwords. This is one option you can do. Like if it is like selected users, or like some point you have like releases, or like some downtime you have provided. In the time you want to mm, reset all passwords, or like you have changed some security features, or like how frequently the password has to expire and how many password they should not repeat. Some of the org level features we can control in the org securities. So there we can have option to expire all users passwords also is an option, so that they will get reset links and they have to set the passwords again. There's two options to reset passwords. If it is a bulk or like to all organizations, like one is to reset passwords from here, and other is to um, do it bulk at the organization level. We are going to cover that password policies and restrictions the next session, and there I'll explain like how to do that org wide.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, and any other questions? We'll ramp up for the day. So today we have covered how to create an user and how to deactivate and what are the login IP ranges. These are all what we covered, and I think I promised that I will provide you the notes by next Monday, 25th. What are the topics that we covered this week? And I'm planning to share the schedule that we're going to cover each day. Actually, I have the content, but I need to split across the days that I'll do, and mostly I will do before this Monday once we have things mostly finalize the batch. But still, this time looking if we have any other who are willing to join. Any other questions? We'll close. If not, if any, we'll answer.
I'm good.
Uh, yeah, Bala. So we were discussing about the different licenses, right? Salesforce and Force.com.
Correct.
So what are the common, limitations that we have in between the sports.com and salesforce.com license, Salesforce license?
Okay, I think we have not covered that, but to answer your question, so Salesforce.com is sorry, Salesforce license is what are all the full features of the editions that we are getting, and Force.com is Force.com itself is like not the Salesforce standard clouds. Force.com is what we built customly, not the out of box features. So I think I have not even covered the out of box features, like what it mean also. Out of box features is something that Salesforce offer the standard way. Like we don't need to do anything. Any build is not required. The code basically. So force.com is dedicated for a custom build app. So like if you write some code and if you have created some pages and if you have created some custom objects, it's only specific to those. And standard also it will have some features like not all like even objects and even some of the standard features you will not avail those like stand
Uh,
what Salesforce automatically or like by default what it provides automations and all you will not get those features in force.com. Force.com is only for custom built applications. The force.com itself said it's a platform based license. What are you built on that platform, you can access those.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, we'll cover what are the different, at least mostly or like popularly used licenses and differences. We'll cover it, right. Arun, I think I have not seen you before, so you are from Arun. Okay, I think we are good. If anybody want to drop off, please go ahead. Arun, can you hear us?
Okay, Bala, I'm wrapping up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.